have a new intro that I must play for you. I wanted to put it on right now. It's by a young lady who is with us this morning, Nala Fox. And this is Nala Fox's new intro for us. Check it out. I don't know what we're doing with this. That's nuts. Um, let me set it and play it again. I need to shut off. Oh dear. I don't know what in the world is going on. Well, I need to get this on its own format, and I can't do it. I got it in Facebook. She sent it to me. You know what? I've got it in my email. I can play it there. I can't. No, I can't. It won't play in my email. She sent it to me on my phone, and I can't get it on my computer. I got it on Facebook, and I can't get it off Facebook onto anything else. That's just frustrating me. But life anyway. Let's see if I got it here. I don't know what I've got. I'm confused. Anyway, you heard it, so I'll play it again. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. I need it. And Natalie, you need to send it to me on my email, fatherfish@fatherfish.net. I tried sending it myself, and it didn't work. I don't know why. But if you could do that for me, please send us an email to fatherfish@fatherfish.net. Then I'll have it and I'll be able to play it every day. My apologies. I'm late. I took a shot this morning for my insulin and then checked it and it was low. So I'm a little freaked out on top of everything else. I'm eating a banana. I need to get sugar into me. So I'm going to shop. Screwy morning. I did make a pot of coffee. It's in the works. So I'm going to have that. I'm probably going to be pumped here. Let's see who's here. Greg Duniger, Glassbox Fox. Bwizzle. Hello, Bwizzle. Thomas Hines. Dane Hritz. Hi, Dane. Nella Fox. Good morning. Good morning. Thomas Hines is saying, am I early or is he late? I'm late. Katharina Nanig. Hello, Katharina. Debbie Russell. Hope he's okay. I'm fine. Well, I don't know if I'm okay, but I'm here. Let's see. Who's that? My Fish Tank Talk. Good morning. Thomas Scott Skankovich. Good morning. Good morning, Scott. Yellowstone Aquatics. Diane Atlin, Debbie Russell, and see, we got Thomas Hines. Who else? Scott. We got everybody. Everybody is here so far. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry, I'm late. I didn't go to bed late. But went to bed at 11 o'clock. I mean, it was late, I guess, but got up once at 3, and then woke up at 5 minutes to 9. So here I am. Glory. I am pretty sure I'm going to discontinue the Monday and Wednesday mornings. I'm doing Friday evening at 8:30 and Sunday evening at 6. Friday with Shelby and Sunday with Mary Page. So I think I'm going to stick with that for a while. I've got to start making more videos. Frank is due over today. We're going to try to convert the van. We'll do a little video of this. Convert the van to camper because we want to get out and do some overnight trips. The first one we have planned is to the Everglades. and I'm going to do video on this. I finally got my GoPro working, got all the equipment I need to be able to use it. I got to figure out how to use it now, which will be less complicated. But this is an enormously complicated little piece of equipment. It does everything but talk back to you, and I think it does that too. It's even voice activated. I mean, for God's sake, the thing is astounding. And I don't know how to even turn it on. So let me get on that. But we're going to be having some nice stuff. I bought a laptop. I mean, whatever they're called, a laptop that is linked to my phone. So wherever I have phone service, I will have computer service, and I can hook it up to my car battery. And I think I've got a big battery. Got a little battery backup pack. Need to get a big one. So I'm trying to get all of that stuff together so we can get out and do remote live and also be able to make videos and da-da-da-da. Looking at the flowers every day is better than looking at the roots, Thomas. Yeah, it is. It is. I had a really interesting insight. I mean, this is going to take us in a direction that'll make some people extremely happy and other people totally distraught. But so be it. I was thinking about that. I've been on about this web satellite that's going the new web observatory that's going out. It's going to hit 1 million miles out and be at L2 position by, I think, the end of the week or close to it. Anyway, it is the experiment or the research is into the Big Bang. They're looking for the earliest emanations of the Big Bang. What that demonstrates once they've done that is that it puts a start point on the universe, on reality. It gives us a date in time when the universe began. That which is remarkable. I mean, it is so remarkable. It is beyond remarkable. Because the second we do that, we put the universe in a timeline, then we absolutely must view the universe, reality, as a creation. Need I say more? Well, going around and around about the nature of creation, one of the things that I find most interesting about creation is consciousness, because consciousness is the awareness of self and others. The awareness of self and others is not something that is necessarily innate to existence. I think of it as the presence of God among us, consciousness, awareness, understanding, all of that. Now, the consciousness, the awareness of self and others, when this specific self is no longer among us, its components remain among us, and so the consciousness of those components remains extant, as does, I believe, the consciousness itself. So death is the release of consciousness into what? Into the eternal consciousness. Isn't that beautiful? The release of self, the release of one's awareness, oneself, one's essential being, if you will, into that which is eternal, into eternal consciousness. So what is the nature of eternality? Consciousness. Consciousness. The awareness of self and others. Anyway, enough of that. We don't need to preach a sermon this morning. We will miss you, but have fun and stay safe. No deadly stunts. Yeah, I'm not going to be going away. I will be doing probably a lot more live streaming, really, because I've learned how to do live streaming out in the field. We did that. Remember, we did that a year or more ago. Um, and it worked out actually pretty well. I've got better equipment now, so I can do it now in a way that works. And I can use the GoPro. I can use if I can figure out how to do it, I can use the GoPro to do live streaming. But that a kick in the head. So I want to figure out how to do that. It's a matter of sending, it's hooked up Wi-Fi somehow. So I should be able to send it to this laptop, the laptop to the phone to the world. There's the plan. Let me get some coffee. Excuse me. Oh dear Lord. Let's see. I had a little trip yesterday with Elaine. Elaine's a lovely lady who's she and her husband were customers. Bought a big tank and just did a lot of. She had discus. Oh boy, she was good at it too. Just beautiful discus. She lost her husband about a year ago. I recently set up a 65-gallon saltwater for her, which she is thrilled with. So we went out looking around yesterday to try to find something for her. We wound up driving to Palm Island. Never been to Palm Island before. Wow, I was really impressed. There's a little village, a kind of a touristy fishing village we drove through, the name of which I cannot remember. Malakovich or some strange thing. Somebody will know it maybe. Just so quaint and so cute and so busy and fun. I've never been there, but I gotta go back. So Palm Island, wonderful. Just loved it. And the reason it's called Palm Island is because there are a number of very large palm tree farms raising every palm tree you ever imagined. I saw one I'd never seen before. About this big around, still about 20 feet tall. The leaves tight to the trunk. A tall, thin tree with palm leaves folded up against the trunk. Strange looking tree. Yeah, Scott says Big Bang 13.5 billion-ish. Right. But that's a point in time, you see. I mean, once we do that, then it seems to me at that point, the whole question of the existence of God is a dead question because it's proven. It's proven. However you choose to define God, and it doesn't really much matter because any definition is inadequate to the reality. If the universe is not eternal, then there is that which is, which created the universe. And that which is eternal is that which is eternal. And what is the nature of eternality? Anyway, so I keep insisting upon myself that I relate all this back to our aquariums. And it is so easy to do that and so vital to do that we acknowledge. I think we all understand it innately, but that we acknowledge consciously that our love of our aquariums is its ability to reflect nature, to reflect creation back to us. We look at the fish as conscious creatures. They are conscious creatures, and we observe them in the closest we can get to their natural environment. See, this is the whole thing about a natural tank. A natural tank is what an aquarium is about. It's about creating an environment in which the fish that are living in it are able to function as normally as possible. So how do you do that? You try to create a system that is as natural as possible. And how do you do that? Very simple. You do it with dirt and you do it with sand. Because without dirt, without sand, you cannot have anything that has water in it that's natural. Think about that. No place in the world where there is a body of water that does not have dirt and sand. No place in the world. They may have a short run of rock, but it's going to deteriorate into dirt and sand. It probably will begin in that water coming out of the ground in dirt and sand. Anyway, what else is here? We'll miss you and have fun. Thank you, Debbie. Oh, yeah. If I start going weird, somebody call it comps or 911 or something. I should go unlock the door. I was 68 this morning after I took 20 units of insulin. I'd never done that before. I was panicked because I was late. Didn't want to miss the shot. I haven't been low in months. I've been around 100 to 130 every morning in that range. All of a sudden now it's low. So I think I need to finish my banana and then maybe make a bowl of cereal. Thomas Hines, interesting. Not enough matter in the universe to create a closed universe and not enough to keep it open. You know what's interesting? Thomas asked this question the other day. Is the universe open or closed? And I really did not understand what he's talking about. And frankly, still don't, because I've never looked at what he's talking about means, open or closed universe. So I need to get into it and find out what he's talking about. Doobie-doo. Thank God for much, but especially for introducing me to aquariums and guitars. Amen to that, GRB. Aquariums and guitars. And Exhibit Yum loves guitars. Ooh, guitars. GRB, good day, monster fish gal. Hope you're well. There she is. Hello, Laurie, my love. Nice to see you. Oh, right. Eat an orange. Oh, I don't have an orange. What a good idea. You know what? I had some cookies, but I finished them. I think I did. Cookie containing, yes, it is. I finished the cookie. I don't know what else I've got that's sugary. I try not to keep stuff around. I have crackers. I should make a bowl of cereal. I don't know if I can hold out an hour on a banana. I have grapes. Let me get the grapes. That'll work. That was a really stupid thing to do. I won't do that again. I've never done that before. Death wish, Lord. Stupid. Let's see. Who is it? Oh, it's speed of light related, I see. I thank God for much, but especially for introducing me to aquariums and guitars. Okay, Thomas has got a follow-up on this. I want to get to it. Let's see. Aquariums and guitars are my OCD addiction. At least they're both healthy. You bet. Amen to that. Closed universe would have an edge and open would not have one. Yeah, I get that. I get that. But if it's expanding into nothingness, yeah, it's an interest. And what do you do in a created universe? That's the issue, I guess. Where's the other end of it? I guess it's an entropy. I guess that's really what it is, because the the the, the mechanical scientists, if you will, all claim that entropy is the sum and total of existence. That everything slows down, and that ultimately it slows down to a dead stop. Every atom slows to a dead stop. Every particular particulate in every atom. So my dad always said, God said it, I believe it. That's all I need. Canisteo Valley. Thomas Larry Tam Jerby and all Shazam. Canisteo, yes. Where are we? Hello, Utah. You know what? I think I've got a problem. Yeah. I got a problem with. I really want to be able to play this thing of Nala's. Here it is. Let me stop it and start over again. I think I got it here. Let's see. You need to turn the volume on. I need to make it big. Back to the beginning. It's so many buttons to push to make it work. Okay, I got it. You ready? This is 2 seconds long. But I'll tell you what I'm really impressed with. Look at all the editing involved in this. She said, I'm sorry, I'm not a very good editor. She is light years ahead of me. Check this out. Here we go. You listening? Be listening. It goes quick. Isn't that sweet? I love it. My granddaughter, the genius. All right, now I gotta get back to where I was. So anyway, yeah, I've got it on Facebook, and that works minimally well, as you can tell. I need to be able to get it independent, and I can't do it yet. I got it on my phone. Anyway. Canisteo says Enoch describes the whole setup. If you want a perspective from the eyes of a prophet. And Thomas Hines says, see how I can get Father Fish off track. Oh, listen, I am born off track. My life is off track. And that's literally true. I was talking to Elaine yesterday about this. And she said, you know what's remarkable about you, Father Fish, is you're always engaged in something. You're always doing something. You always got some kind of something going on. And I know that's true. That's been true since I was a little kid. I've always had an agenda for the day, something I was going to do that day. Rarely has that not been the case. I remember, as an alternative to that, I remember when I was, I don't know how old I was, 9 or 10, I guess, visiting in the summer my grandmother. We got to spend a week with my grandmother and grandfather. Each of us kids spent a week with them. And it was delightful. It was wonderful. They lived on the eastern shore of Maryland on a little farm, about a 10-acre farm, right on the water. And I remember lying on the ground, looking at the sky, watching the clouds, and being sad that that moment would not last forever. That I would have to go back to school in 2 months. that moment would not go on and on and on eternally. Strange. Kids are weird. Just such a strange thought. Never. Why did I not forget that? Of all things. I don't know. No sound. No sound where? Is my sound off? Need more fine? Oh, you mean for her. That's true. Oh, well. Is my sound on now? It looks like it is. Mermaid's Chorus. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I guess it is because they're talking about keeping grooving and keeping moving. That's my granddaughter's thing. Look, too low a volume. I'll get it right. Yeah, I think childhood. There are key experiences in childhood that all of us have that I think define our heart. I've had this understanding recently that I think is tied to ancient thought that and is based on current biology and some new understanding of the nature of the body, and especially of the heart. That the heart contains some structure that is identical to brain structure, leaving open the notion that the heart, in some real sense, thinks. Now, if that's true, the heart is a very different kind of structure than the brain, just from a structural standpoint, in that the brain is dialectic. It's comprised of a yin and yang almost, of two sides that are able to function pretty independently of each other and that struggle with each other. And that's the nature of mental thinking. Mental thinking is pro and con. It's setting up an idea, challenging it. That's the nature of the scientific method. Scientific method is based on a brain structure and on the notion that things function in a systemic way. So anyway, that's the brain. Heart's very different. Heart is not divided. It's singular. It's a coordinated structure, I guess you could say. Which means that anything that is expressive of the heart from its brain, if you will, is singular. It's not a dialectic thought. It's a singular thought. Now, I interpret that to mean that the heart is able to discern truth, or at least is able to commit itself to a singular a singular idea, a singular conception, which means that the heart then is what is the source of conviction, the source of that which we live in terms of, we give our heart to. It's amazing to me that all of the ancient literature is based on this. We give our heart to God, or whatever it is we give our heart to. But our heart is able to commit itself unabashedly, unapologetically, without without conflict, purely, wholly, totally, absolutely. I give my heart to you, meaning I commit myself to you. I surrender myself in some real sense to you. So anyway, I've had this kind of understanding recently, and then the chakras, 1, 2, 3. The third is the emotion, the gut. And the emotion is, I think, a wonderful way to understand emotion is as weather. The emotion is the weather of our body. If you think of your body as a globe, as a total entity, it has just like a globe, it has weather, and the emotion is the weather. So we should never surrender ourselves to the weather, to our emotion, because it is in constant flux. It's here and there and everywhere. It's moving all the time. We can, to a certain extent, control it, but the emotion of the body is so much a part of just the total functioning of the body and in all of its aspects, that it really, if we allow it to drive us, it will drive us. I mean, we can surrender ourselves to our emotion and just be emotional creatures. And I think that's where a lot of people get in trouble. They become so committed to whatever it is they're feeling, as though that somehow has some greater validity, when in point of fact, all it is the weather. You know, it's stormy that day or the sun is shining. You don't want to live your life in terms of the weather, do you? Well, same with your body. You don't want to live your life in terms of your emotion, because it'll take you to nutsy places that frankly are not worth going. I mean, it may be wonderful one day, but the next day there's going to be a storm and maybe even a hurricane, God forbid. So the heart and the mind. Put your faith in the heart. Put your thoughts in the mind. Put your reason and your intellect in the brain, and your commitment in the heart. The Scalscaper. Hello, Scals. Eduardo. Hello, Eduardo. Enjoying my interpretation, Scott. Thank you, Scott. I'm just off on a rant. OJ and crackers. I don't have OJ. I do have some crackers somewhere. Here we go, crackers. I have cheese, too. I got these little skinny crackers. Guess I could do this. And I got these salty sort of crackers. Crackers I got. Trash I got. Do one of them. Do another grape. Coffee. Yeah, Master Aquatics. We are indeed in an existential dialogue. Absolutely true. Oh dear, here we are. Jeremy, in the words of a broken heart, just emotion that's taken me over, tied up in sorrow, lost in my soul. But if you don't come back, yeah, that's right. That's right. Lurkin, we love. Funny Viper, we love. And love is not a visceral, love is not an emotional response. Love is a surrender of the heart. It's an act of the heart. It's an act of the giving of oneself utterly and totally. And the acknowledgement of receiving it is received as well into the heart. It makes the heart swell. It makes the heart be filled. All of that. Amazing stuff. The ancients had it right. We cannot absolve ourselves of 50,000 years worth of history. Yeah, I think it's getting in my brain. I'm not. Oh, here we go. Eduardo, your dynamic conversation has been foretold by the Buddha of ancient times. I heard most of the thought processes you explained. I've always believed similar theology beliefs. Yeah, absolutely. The Buddha, there's some interesting research. I want to get into this on my other channel, the Lou Foxwell channel. I'm doing theology primarily on the Lou Foxwell channel. And I promised to talk about Jesus, and I'm going to do that. And I think I'm going to do it in this context. There's some research, really interesting research, that's been going on that has been studying a character, a traveling priest, if you will, that was in India going from monastery to monastery exactly 2,000 and some odd years ago. Precisely 2,000 and some odd years ago. Who went by the name of, by any other name, Jesus. And it was prior to his ministry in Jerusalem. And involved the literature that's been found involved many of the same dynamics and teachings. So it's all very fascinating, and says to me that the Lord was at work in each of the two primary locations in human history in that same time frame, that were committed to committed to unity with the Godhead, with the nature and substance of reality. Anyway, I don't want to go any further than that with that, but I just find it fascinating. Whether it's true or not, I don't know whether it's true. It certainly makes sense, and I like things that make sense. How many African cichlids do you think I could put in a 36-gallon aquarium? Not many. Exhibit Yum. Exhibit Yum. African cichlids are aggressive little beasties, and it depends on which kind you want. Typically, when we talk about African cichlids, we're talking about Malawi cichlids, and more specifically, Mbuna cichlids. And those are little beasts. I'm fond of telling people who want to have an Mbuna tank that you want to start off, if you have a 55-gallon tank, start off with 10 to 12 little ones, an inch long, and put them in there, get it all set up, and feed them and let them grow. And by at the end of a year, there will be one left, and that's about true. These guys are so aggressive that they simply tear each other to pieces. Now, I found I could put them in much larger tanks with a much wider diversity of fish, and they actually did better. They held up better. They were a bit less aggressive because they had more and other bigger fish that were dominating them, and that made a difference. So I'll tell you what I would do in a 36-gallon tank. I wouldn't put Africans in a 36. I mean, I guess you can, but it's kind of meaningless. Do this instead. Instead of doing Mbunas, do Tanganyikas. Do some of the more gentle Tanganyikas. Frontosa are lovely. Frontosa are not going to kill each other off. The males will, but they're not going to kill off the females. They'll maintain a harem. Get a half a dozen Frontosa. Actually, that won't work either because they get too big for a 36 gallon. They get nearly a foot long. All right, so Julid Acromus, some of the smaller Tanganyikas. And this will work, and it'll work brilliantly. See what your local shop has available or what you can find online that you can afford. There is a wide variety of small Tanganyika cichlids, and they do brilliantly in that size tank. They will, in fact, colonize. You'll be able to develop pairs, and they will thrive. They'll have babies, and the babies will have babies, or they'll have 2 or 3 generations. It'll be wonderful. You'll love it. And that's a great size tank to do that in. So you can do Africans, just don't do Malawis. Do Tanganyikas and do little Tanganyikas, not the ones that get a foot long, the ones that get 2 inches long. There are dozens of varieties, and most of them are really interesting and very pretty. Look at that, look them up, research them, see what you can find, and then get 5 or 6. Get 5 or 6 little ones, like 1 inch, little guys, and put them in there. Get it set up with lots of rock work and plants and whatnot. They're not going to tear anything up. They're not going to rip up plants. They're delightful little fish. And once they become mature, which will take maybe a year, they'll start breeding. Now, at that point, they're going to chase the odd male out. So you're going to wind up taking somebody back to the shop because he'll be hovering in the corner. When you see a fish hovering in the corner, take him out. It means he's not welcome there. Take him out and put him in another tank. Take him back to the shop. Don't flush him. Please don't flush him. Not nice to flush your fish. Take him back and get some food or something. Start another tank. The mind is one, if not the most powerful thing in the world, says Skyscaper. Amen to that. Let's see. We did all of those. Brichardi are nice. Yes, they are. And Brichardi are so easy to breed. They just, I had a friend, excuse me, when I had the shop, he brought in a Brichardi Tanganyika mix. Who knew? But it was. And these were big fish. I think somebody still has some. I think Bill, one of their club treasurer, still has some of those. And I believe they've spawned. Not a pretty fish, sadly. I mean, Brichardi is a pretty fish, and Julie is a pretty fish. They were ornatas, I think. Really pretty fish, but these were kind of muddy. No distinct pattern at all. He said they're getting nicer, so I haven't seen them, so we'll see. Anyway. Master Aquatics, Eduardo. Oh my God, here we go. From Shakyamuni to Nichiren Daishonin in Buddhism, from my personal research within these enlightened men, detail many of the fundamental beliefs of the Zen state that you have expressed. Thank you so much, Eduardo. I know that which is true is that which is true. The messenger is not the source of truth. The messenger is the messenger of truth. Truth is eternal. That which is true is that which is eternal, regardless its source or its expression. Don't flush, don't release. Amen to that, Thomas. Don't flush and don't release. Neolamprologus, good shot. I love Neolamprologus. Now, much your fish count. Excellent choice. So many really pretty little fish. Just don't get big ones, that's all. Get little ones, little guys. Yum says, wow, thank you, I will. Good. Skyscaper, do you do water changes or just top-ups? Well, I do water changes. No, excuse me. I do top-ups for, in my current setup, for 3 or 4 months, and then I'll do a water change. So I do a water change about every, about every 3 or 4 months, 3 to 4 times a year is the current schedule. Now, I've not been a year here yet, just coming up on. And it's taken me a while to settle on my water source. I had essentially 4 different water sources here, and I tried them all, and the one that works is the last one I tried, which of course is always the case. But it happened to also be the last one available. I guess it was trying to avoid it. I don't know. I started out using creek water. That was a bust. Killed all my plecos. Too much salt in the water. Too hard. I don't know what else. Something weird. Something I never really understood. It was like it was oily or something. I don't mean in a polluted sense. I mean it was thick with biomatter somehow. So I got out of that. Started using reclaimed water, landscape water, which is provided here in the park. Kind of the same problem, just not a pure enough water somehow. And then the third I tried was tap water. And the tap water, as I discovered in my shop, was perfect. Why didn't I know that? I used tap water in the shop, ran it through an RO, used the wastewater from the RO for my freshwater systems. Isn't that interesting? Think about that a minute. This was fairly low TDS, I'm sorry. Fairly low TDS. By running it through the RO system, that increased the total dissolved solids. It's getting to me, isn't it? So, and it worked brilliantly. So I finally got around to doing it here, and it's working fine. I think part of the reason I do the water changes the way I do is because by topping off, you're encrypted with the same water, the source water. Now, if you're using RO, spring water, distilled water, or rainwater, that's 4, you're not going to have the same problem. But by using my source water, the tap water, I'm increasing the TDS. So it's going up and up and up, albeit slowly and gradually. It's nonetheless going up. So a water change of I do about 30%. And I don't treat it. It's pure chlorine. And it's not a super high level of chlorine. So it dissipates almost instantly. It's kicked out by the plants, by the other biological material, by the activity of the water. I can put a quarter to a third chlorinated water, not chloramine, chlorine, free chlorine that dissipates off, it gases off, and it'll gas off as it's going in. So I wound up with no chlorine in that water at all. In fact, I did a water change with a little zebra the other day, a little tiny 1 gallon tank I gave to my roommate. I had to clean it out. I put him straight in tap water, and he's fine. It gassed off instantly. If you've got free chlorine in your water, and you let it sit or bubble for even an hour, it's going to lower that chlorine level to the point where it's not going to be a problem. Now, you have some sense of the how can I say it? The professional skill of the people maintaining your water system, because there are those who simply dump the chemicals in the system without any particular attention paid to how much they're putting in and what the effect is. But if you've got, as we do here in Venice, water people who are attuned to the quality of the water and attuned to the appropriate chemistry of the water, then you're not going to have that kind of problem. And we don't. And the chlorine level is kept at a minimum, and it dissipates very quickly. So it's a non-issue. And I don't, although I've done it in the past, I don't need to use sodium thiosulfate, which is a dechlorinator. Don't need to use it at all. Anyway, Freaky Fish Lady, hello, hello. Nice to see you. So let me go back a little bit. 10 tanks in our 38. Oh, Tanganyika's in our 38, down to 8 in 3 months, shell dwellers. Generally, what'll happen is with any fish, virtually any fish, the males will drive each other. They'll achieve dominance and drive out the betas, drive out the betas, and the alpha then will be in control. There are cases where you can have multiple alphas in a tank successfully if it's big enough. But generally speaking, in most tanks, with cichlids in particular, you're going to wind up with one alpha male. 11 prayers to Freaky Fish Lady. Amen. Amen. Let's see. Talking about a loss. I go back. Oh my God. Freaky Fish Lady lost her fiance recently. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. We were talking about the heart. When we give our heart to someone and they're taken away or they turn away, it does affect the heart. It absolutely does affect the heart. And we feel the pain in our heart. And that's not an emotion. Not in the same sense that the gut, it provides emotion. That's something deeper. That's a kind of hurt that is well beyond emotion, that goes to our self, goes to our sense of goodness, of right and wrong, of truth, of what it is we're committed to, what it is we're really all about. And each of us have in some way, have been around for a while, experienced that kind of loss, that kind of pain, that kind of hurt. I guess for me it was the loss of my father, because it came suddenly and horribly. So much so that I threw myself into his work as a way of overcoming the pain, but still had in me that loss that was so deep that it affected everything I did. And live with that to this day. That was 50 years ago, 74. Almost 50 years ago. And it still affects me as deeply now as it did then. I mean, I can surrender myself to it and be broken by it. I never did, never allowed myself, because I promised him I wouldn't. But yeah, that's a kind of pain that goes, as I said, it goes way beyond emotion. And it's not a thought process. It's not this or that. it is vastly more direct and personal and intimate and serious and deep and profound in our lives than that, because it is a brokenness of that to which we have committed ourselves, a brokenness of that bond, of that mutuality. My mother said about my father's loss that love survives death, and it does. It does. That love doesn't go away. That love stays with the lover because that love survives in the beloved and in the lover. And there is that continuing bond. We don't experience it the same way, of course, because we experience love between a man and a woman in the flesh. But when that bond is broken, when that love can no longer be expressed, and is not expressed in a divorce, but in the loss by virtue of a death, then the love remains. The love is not broken. That love is still there. Its expression, its continued expression is stopped. And that's what we lose when we lose someone we love. We lose the opportunity, the ability to continue to express that love in the flesh, to continue to have that give and take, that back and forth, that mutuality that is so much a part of what love is between us. When Aquarium Cop passed, that's what we lost. The love is still there. We still feel and experience and share that love. And it was a powerful and a very deep love, albeit in the most bizarre of environments, this web electronic thing we're doing. But nevertheless, the love is still there. It's just that what we miss is his continued expression of it. So, bless you, freaky fish lady. Our hearts are with you and remain with you, and be at peace. Be at peace. Your love is not gone. DeFreeze lost. DeFreeze says, freaky fish lady, I feel your pain as I lost mine last summer. My heart goes out to you, as does my love and support. Amen. Amen. From all of us. Scott. Oh, that was the Tanganyikas. 10 Tanganyikas in his 38. We got that. Okay. I'm glad I went back to pick up that. And we did this. I'm moving right along here, aren't I? The SCOTUS. Let's see. Now I'm jumping too far ahead. Now I got to back up again. This thing jumps down so far. Yeah. Lord. I may have to give it up here. Oh, here we go. I got to it. Okay. Let's see. DeFreeze was fishing Lake Okeechobee back in 2000. Caught an Oscar over a pound. Definitely don't release. Well, they're breeding there, of course. It is a one of the things I expect we're going to be catching when we go, because we're going to be doing some fishing. when Frank and I go down to the Everglades is we'll be catching peacock bass and Oscars. And there are 2 or 3 other very common invasive species that are in the Everglades. But we will neither flush nor release, we will consume. Scheller Aquatics just got chilies. Let's see, just got chilies after 20 years. Neolamprologus similis, very nice. Very nice. Nice to see you, Scheller Aquatics. Good to have you with us. We just turned you blue. We're going to run over here. Jess is not on. We're not stepping on feet, I think. And I want to get to the bottom of this chat at least. Oh dear. Patricia, at 5:30 this morning, I discovered my new tank was leaking. Oh, yuck. Yeah, come on over to Discord if you're having trouble dealing with it, and we'll help you and give you some ideas of maybe how to stop it, or at worst, what to do. Oh, Eduardo DeFree said that he flew down there to go fishing, talking to Eduardo. Let's see. GRB talking about reusing water technique. Like your chlorine levels might be quite different than ours. We're Dunlop saying, yeah, that's absolutely. I think that's right. I was frankly surprised that I could get away with it because I've been in situations before where I could not. But the chlorine level is so low in this water. It's there to do a very simple job. It does the job and it goes away. And that's kind of the way the chemist treats it. I told the story before. I was concerned one day and called the water company at the shop and said something about, I don't remember what, the hardness, I think. And the plant engineer came over to the shop to talk to me about it. He was concerned about fish too, and he was concerned about what was happening with my water in the shop. And I was frankly deeply impressed. I was very happy he had done that. It gave me a great deal of information and confidence in him and in the quality of that water, because he was able to say some things to me that I didn't know and really appreciated. One of which was that they're very cautious about how they treat the water, and they do it in a way that is delicate. Probably a good use of the word, rather than elephantine. They don't just roar. They treat it with the respect of which it is due. Chloramine is indeed a whole different story, Thomas says. Yes, it is. Chlorine as a gas does not like to be in liquid and will gas solve faster in sunlight. Absolutely. Thomas Hine, I'm on a well. Bravo. If you are on a well and you have a water softener for your domestic water, do not use the softened water for your aquariums. Find an outdoor valve that's running that well water before it hits the softener, and use that. Use direct well water. Direct well water is the best water you can possibly keep in your aquarium, regardless of what it is, because it's pure. It's water in its purest form. It's water that is filtered by the ground, so it is in its purest form. Now, there can always be exceptions to that, of course. A shallow well, with that's running through ground that has a long history of chemical treatment may have pollutants in it. But a deep well will virtually never, unless something is happening very deep to pollute that water, which happens. But if it is, you'll know it. ABC Aquatic Biotope Creations. Hello, hello. Thomas Haynes. Okay, here, this is right. Thomas is talking to Eduardo, says, agreed. As a result, I work with my water and keep species that will do well. And, that's Thomas really has put his finger on the key. Know what your water is, know what the source is, and keep fish accordingly. Keep fish that prefer that specific condition of water. Now, a master aquarist who wants to be able to maintain fish that come out of very different water will learn how to create that water. One of the masters in this is Andre Ryan from Bioaquatics. He's going to be our speaker at our next Venice Aquarium Society meeting, and we'll be talking, at least I will, be talking with him about pH and how to adjust pH and maintain it in a stable condition. We're going to be live streaming that meeting, so his lecture will be available to us on live stream, and that'll be exciting. Tomorrow is Thursday. I'm going to be working with some guys tomorrow to try to figure out how to use our electronic equipment with the clubhouse in order to be able to actually pull this off. So hopefully we'll have all that together and we'll be able to do a live stream of our club meeting this coming Thursday, not tomorrow, but next week. Bunny Viper, how are you? My 180 is due tomorrow. I've got some dirt based on your recipe. Was capping with blasting sand for geos. Should I just mix it all and go for it? No, do not do that, Bunny Viper. You want to get an extra inch or two of sand on top of the dirt. Make the dirt, you've got a 180. You want that dirt inch and a half, even 2 inches, and then 4 to 6 inches of sand on top of it. And those geos are not going to go through that. They're not going to go that deep. They'll go an inch or so, maybe 2. They're not going to go deeper. You do not want that dirt released into your tank. That is counterintuitive. Goes against everything you want to be able to do. And then plant heavily. By planting heavily, those geos are going to respect the plants, and it'll work out very well. Eduardo is saying he keeps discus. Easier to control and maintain. Talking about keeping fish in his native water, keeping fish that are adaptable to his native water, and he says it's easier to control and maintain. That's absolutely right, and that's what you want to do, all the way up to master level, and that then becomes a habit that you simply maintain, so that you're giving your fish the kind of water they appreciate. Now, it's a caveat. Angels are a good example of the caveat. Angels come from soft acid water in the Amazon, Peru, Brazil, all through there. They were brought up to the States initially around 1915. The first pair showed up in New York City. Came up by boat, no planes. Came up by boat, a pair, $1,000 each or some ridiculous thing. They showed up again around 1930, and by 1940 they were in insufficient quantities that they began to be bred. By the 50s, they were being heavily bred in Florida, on the Florida fish farms. The water in the Florida fish farms is hard and alkaline, not soft and acid. So they were adapted to that. For 70 years, they've been adapted to that. I'll tell you the story. I sold a collection of about 20 very rare, very beautiful, very unusual angels. This is 25 years ago, to a woman in Pennsylvania. I think at that time, the total cost was about $400, 25 years ago. Included some beautiful fish, including pearl scale, veil, albinos, breeding, a lot of other stunning stuff. All came out of Florida farms. All came out of hard alkaline water. All of it. 100% of them. They all came off farms. And they had all been in that farm system, as I said, for years and years and years. The woman got the fish, immediately put them in soft acid water, and they began to bleed around the gills. They got red. They were bleeding. Their cells, the walls of their cells were bursting, and of course they began dying then. And she became irate. Tried to explain to her that they came out of hard alkaline water. They needed to be. Oh no, no, no! That is not their native water. Their native water is soft and acid. That is where they need. This was an early Karen, you see. I got the breeder, one of the breeders from the farm, to call her and talk with her. She argued with her. No, no, no. She lost all of them. Insisted I send her more. I did. Killed them. I refused to send her any more, and she had charged that sale on her credit card, and so she reversed the charge. I had no way to come back about that. Fortunately, I ran it through PayPal 25 years ago, had pulled the money out, didn't put the money back. I don't know how she got her money back from PayPal, I guess. PayPal was not in a position at that point to defend me because they were not a credit card company, were not certified to do the kind of thing they were doing as a bank, whatever. And so I was stuck, and in point of fact, PayPal was stuck. But it burned me so badly that was while I did that through Aquabid. I had one other very negative experience like that. Both of these people, in fact, were lawyers. Litigious, nasty, crude, vulgar, hateful, mean little people. Don't deal with lawyers. They're mean little people. At least don't get into a fight with them. Don't find yourself in conflict with them, because they revel in conflict. Anyway, that kind of soured me on Aquabid for a while. I've just gone back on, and so far it's not going well. I've got minimum bids, and I'm not getting the minimum. We'll see how it all goes. Anyway, we're at 10:20. Let's see if we're getting close here to the bottom. Thomas Hines saying to Eduardo he hasn't taken the discus plunge. I'm going to be getting some in a week or two. Not quite sure how I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to convert my 55 to a warm water Amazon and do discus and angels in it. Oh dear, Bunny Viper, lost my soulmate of over a decade and then lost my next husband. So sorry, honey. Oh, Bunny, I know. It is so sad. So hurtful. Love and prayers to you from Tam to Freaky Fish Lady. Let's see. I'm just scrolling down here. Raven Thomas said a prayer for you, Holly. DeFrays, hello, Bunny Viper, Master Aquatics. Red melons, 2 red melon females. Stunning, stunning fish are discus. The Scoutscaper have 6 discus. I had to split them up because of aggression into pairs. The 2 smaller stunted, and had to put one of the bigger ones back in with them. Yeah, it's good to have multiple tanks with discus. Right, Debbie saying, Bunny, no, don't mix the dirt and sand. 2 inches of dirt and 4 inches of sand. Yeah, they are not going to go down that deep. Love is eternal, strongest force in the universe. Amen to that, Debbie. Amen. Love to have some discus, not a rabbit hole I'll jump down. It's not so bad. Not so bad. Freaky Fish Lady. Oh my. Yeah, I know about that. Freaky Fish Lady. I know about that. There were 2 boys who killed my father. Came up behind him with a gun to hold him up. The gun went off. And he died 2 hours later. Front of his home, 10 o'clock at night, getting out of his car. He had come back from work up in Frederick, Maryland. It was like a 2-hour drive. And my mother was not home. They had a summer home. She was at the summer home. And they did catch them. And one of them was released after 15 years, the other after 40. They're both out and old men now. And I hope changed men. Let's see, the Scoutscaper, the smaller don't seem to be happy about it. I'm thinking I should maybe move into smaller in their own tank. But worried about stressing them. They already seem stressed. Talking about this discus, I guess. Sorely miss my family and friends that have passed. Word Dunlap. That said, they're in a better place in the realm of God, and I'm happy for them, as will we all be. Word Dunlap. As will we all be. Let's see. I've jumped down 15 spots again. I really wish that YouTube would straighten out this scroll function. It is a pain in the rear end, the way it jumps to the bottom. If that could be turned off, I would be thrilled. Oh, ABC asking what was the channel I was talking about recently? Something Blackwater. It wasn't Blackwater. I think it was Rehoboth. Rehobeth. Rehoboth. And I should have the, let me see if I can pull that up. I should have it. This is a fellow who, Rehoboth, let's do fish. Rehoboth tropical fish. Images for Rehoboth tropical fish. Aquatic director. I'm not going to find it that way. I will dig it out. I've got his number on my phone. I'll get it out. He's got a website, and I'll have it Friday. Oh, biggest fish in my fish room. Right now, not much. Biggest one's about 18 inches. It's not a fish. It's a salamander. It's a siren salamander, about 18 inches. Let's see. Patricia. Oh, the tank she lost. The tank that's leaking only had a bed in it, so not a big one. So going to take it back. Good idea. Thank you, Monster Fish Gal, for posting the links. Oh, yeah. Thomas Haynes said my dad had a few years ago had iguanas falling out of the trees from the cold. Every 5 years or so, it gets cold enough to Florida to kill off a lot of the invasive species. So that's more or less how we control it. Master Aquatics, use our well water directly from the ground. No pollutants or chemicals. Even the pH is usable. Will's near farmland, Afraid says. Where I used to live, we were surrounded by fields. They'd spread manure twice a year. Worried about the runoffs and never used it. Would not have been a problem. And they likely were deep wells anyway, so would not have been effective. Okay, I'm trying to scroll down here to catch everything. Aqua Gardens and Too Tired. Just gonna lay down and listen. Too tired to keep my eyes open. I felt that way recently. Chinese spring rolls with soy sauce or sweet chili sauce. Sounds delightful. Sweet chili sauce. Yeah, I'm with that. All right. Eduardo, native waters are only important if they're imported from their native waters. Today, we must know their current water condition. It's been decades we've bred in their water parameters. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Yeah, these stupid purists who think they know what they're doing and are killing fish. It's a perfect example of someone with a little bit of knowledge and insufficient knowledge to know what the right thing is to do. And what's worse is being indignant about it. The height of stupidity cost me, though. It was so emotionally distressing, that whole thing. Oh, it just really, because I struggled to try to communicate with this woman, and she was just far too ignorant. The arrogance of ignorance. She demonstrated in a pure form the arrogance of ignorance. And I hope whoever she is watching right now, because I really want to poke her in the eye over that. I mean, she was so huffy and indignant and Karen-esque. And would not listen to reason. Exhibit Yum. I don't normally do this, but there's a song I wrote on SoundCloud that might bring some comfort to those who have lost loved ones, called I Am Home by Molly Burnett. It's free. Maybe it'll bless you. Post the link, please, Yum. Do post the link. Finally getting some local guppies fish streams. Bravo. Guppies are a tough one. Guppies are a really tough one. Guppies need to be in local water, whatever that water is they're being kept in. Now, here's an interesting thing about guppies. If guppies, the guppies you want are not holding up, get pregnant ones because the babies will survive. Curious thing, the babies will do fine in your water, even if the parents don't. So you may need to start that way. Ignorance is part of terminal hubris. Amen to that. Okay, I am finally at the bottom. Poker in the eye, right? I didn't like saying that when I said it. In the nose, I don't know. Poker in the eye. Yum, please do post that link for the song. If you can do that real quick, because I'm going to sign off here pretty quick. Stupid error. Can I get rid of that stupid error? Yeah, if I click on it. But it comes back. I hate it. There should be a utility that allows you to get rid of that stupid down arrow. It is so irritating. I think I'll bitch about it. Get rid of the stupid down arrow. I can scroll just fine, thank you. All right, we're going to run. I think I'm out of the woods here. We're done live. Happy birthday. Whose birthday? I Am Home by Molly Burnett. Let's see if I can get it. Images. Images for I Am Home by Molly Burnett. I'm not really finding. Co-owner of Grapevine Public Relations, a boutique theatrical PR firm in New York City. So my search engine is not giving me. All I'm getting is Backstage magazine. Not helpful. All right, my loves. I will be back Friday at 8:30 with Shelby, all things being equal, and the world staying on its current trajectory. We will see you then. Love you all. Thomas Hines saying, I have to go listen to a recorded phone call about insurance. Must take leave if you tell us I need to. Love you. Bye for now. And thank you, Nala, for the intro. Let's see. I think I maybe can play it again. Let's try. I got it. Oh, no, I don't. That's not it. That ain't it. I don't know if I have it or not. No, it's gone. It's gone. Please send that to me, Nala, to my email, fatherfish@fatherfish.net, fatherfish@fatherfish.net, and we'll be able to play it every time I'm up. God bless. Thank you all. Good to be with you. Love